The movie starts off in the middle of a conflict as 3 ancient warriors are engaged in an intense skirmish inside a bamboo forest. A beautiful woman wearing a red dress and a veil over her face is chained to a pole nearby. It is not clear if the 3 warriors are fighting to save the woman or to kill her. Suddenly, someone else enters the battle, a towering figure clad in all black and riding an equally massive horse. Known as the Black Knight, this warrior carries a sword that mere mortals can't even lift. The 3 men who were fighting each other a few moments ago put aside their differences and attack the Black Knight. However, the latter easily parries all their attacks and kills them one by one. Just when everything seems to have calmed down, a mountain of a man, almost a foot taller than the Black Knight, comes forward. The brute has a sword as big as him and is wearing a mask made out of a human skull. He attacks with unmatched strength and easily gains the upper hand. He even manages to knock the sword out of the Black Knight's hands. But despite this, the legendary warrior uses his battle IQ and kills the brute using 2 sharp bamboo pieces. The scene abruptly changes, and it is revealed that this entire battle was simply a video game. The Black Knight is just an avatar used by a young man named Jack Bronson. He is busy celebrating the victory when suddenly his mother arrives in his room. Jack quickly exits out of the game window, but his mother finds out anyway. This is the second worst thing Jack has been walked in on doing this week. However, instead of getting angry, she seems to be extremely worried. She then reveals that things haven't been going well back at her job. They don't have enough money to pay for the home loan installments, because of which they might be evicted in a few weeks. Mom urges her son to study hard and get a scholarship since they can't afford the college fees any longer. Upon hearing all of this, Jack is worried, but he tells his mother that he'll find a way. That afternoon, Jack heads to the local cycling park to clear his head. He rides around on his bike, contemplating how he should help his mother. He does actually work in a Chinese antique shop nearby, but that doesn't make him a lot of money. Suddenly, a group of boys led by the mean-spirited Trey arrives in the park. They begin to bully Jack and threaten him to get out of the park immediately, but instead of complying with the order, Jack kicks a pile of dirt on Trey's face before riding away on his cycle. The bullies try to catch up, but Jack quickly hides in the antique shop where he currently works. Minutes later, the owner, Mr. Chang, sees him sweating profusely and immediately understands the situation. He thinks he also walked in on Jack doing something uncouth. He urges the young man to fight back, insisting that he cannot always live in fear. Jack, however, points out that he is too small to fight with Trey and his group all on his own. Their conversation turns to work, and the young man helps his employer move a newly arrived shipment of goods to a secure place. Later, before the day ends, Mr. Chang gives Jack a gift, an antique wooden basket which came straight from Beijing. That night, Jack goes to sleep with the basket placed in his bedroom. He is in a deep sleep when suddenly the inside of the basket begins to glow with a bright light. A warrior from ancient China named Zhao soon climbs out of it and immediately wakes Jack up by placing a sword to his neck. He demands to know the whereabouts of the Black Knight. Frightened, the youngster reveals that Black Knight is simply his character in a video game. The warrior has no idea what a video game is, but he understands that this mythical warrior he had heard of is simply a fictional being. He is disappointed, but he also seems to be in a great hurry. Zhao then brings out a beautiful woman from inside the basket. He introduces her as Su Lin, the princess of ancient China, and explains that Jack must keep her safe at any cost. Before the youngster can ask further questions, Zhao climbs into the basket and vanishes. If this is a dream, Jack doesn't want to wake up. Following this, Su Lin asks Jack if he has any weapons lying around, but the confused boy says he doesn't. A disappointed Su Lin then introduces herself and asks if she can have something to eat. Jack heads to the kitchen and prepares whatever food he can, but when he gets back to the room, the princess is fast asleep. The next morning, Jack wakes up late and sees her practicing martial arts in the back garden. This sends him into panic mode, and he immediately begins distracting his mother so that she won't notice the princess. The plan fortunately works, and Mom heads to work before she can realize what's happening. A few hours later, Su Lin expresses her desire to go outside and see the world. Jack agrees to do this, but first takes her to a shopping mall so that she can be dressed in some contemporary clothing. When the duo returns back home, Mom is waiting in the kitchen and is surprised to see the new girl. Jack immediately makes up a story about how she's an exchange student from China. He even convinces his mother to let Su Lin stay in the guest bedroom. The next day, Mom tells the kids that she will be gone for a few days due to a work trip. Jack tells her to stay safe and promises to keep the house squeaky clean. Everything seems to be going normally for the first few hours of the day, but then, out of the blue, 3 thugs jump from the basket and attack the princess princess. Su Lin is a trained martial artist, and she holds her own against all 3 of the attackers. But while trying to protect Jack from getting injured, she gets distracted and is eventually captured. The thugs then carry the princess back into the basket, while a frightened Jack grabs a frying pan and tries to follow them. He opens the basket and sees a ladder inside it, going all the way down to unseen depths. It seems to be a shady place, but Jack gathers his courage and heads down. Soon afterwards, he reaches the bottom, which seems to be the insides of a hut. To Jack's utter surprise, he sees Zhao near the hut's door. The warrior, however, isn't happy to see the boy, and quickly deduces that something bad has happened with the princess. Jack responds that she was just captured by 3 thugs who entered the basket. He even rushes out of the door, thinking the princess must be close by, but in front of the hut is a huge army of men, waiting to kill anyone who comes out. They shoot some arrows at Jack, but thankfully none of them manage to hit him. It is obvious that Jack has landed in ancient China. Following this, the scared boy says he wants to go back to his world. Zhao points to a wizard who is meditating in the next room and says only he can help Jack to do so. Right at this moment, the army outside begins to attack, which seemingly wakes the wizard from his meditative state. He then freezes each and every soldier outside, giving himself, Zhao, and Jack a chance to escape the hut. As they begin to traverse the nearby hills, Jack asks the wizard to send him back, but the latter replies that the bucket, which was a portal between 2 worlds, has been destroyed in the attack. He will now have to build another gate by using 4 different kinds of wood from 4 different trees scattered across ancient China. Jack then asks about Zhao, and the wizard gives a brief history of the warrior. Turns out Zhao was a part of 7 warrior children raised from birth only to protect the emperor. The only person who could defeat them was the king of barbarians, named Aaron the Cruel. The brute used deceit to poison all the warriors and killed the emperor. By the end, the only people left alive were Princess Su Lin and Zhao. The wizard then adds that he searched through his seeing stone to find the greatest warrior to protect the princess. That is when he found the Black Knight, Jack's in-game avatar, a ferocious and clever warrior. Moments later, the wizard orders Jack to help Zhao in bringing the princess back to safety. He then teleports away to go and find the required wood for the gate. Elsewhere, Aaron the Cruel is hatching a cunning plan in his stronghold. The 3 thugs who kidnapped the princess were his henchmen, and they are currently bringing her to the stronghold. He plans to marry her and grab the throne of ancient China. Furthermore, Aaron instructs his men to find and kill warrior Zhao, the last remaining member of the 7. On the other hand, Jack gets his first taste of what life is like on the road in such a dangerous place. He tries to take a short nap, but sees Zhao hiding under his shield as if to protect himself from rain. The day, however, is clear with absolutely no clouds, and then, suddenly, 1,000 arrows drop down from the sky like hailstones. Jack hides behind a nearby rock just in time, while Zhao casually blocks the arrows with his shield. The warrior then says that the enemy army randomly shoots arrows from time to time, hoping they get lucky. Following this, the 2 of them make it to the magical gate that marks the beginning of Aaron's area, infamously named the Unknown Kingdom. They soon come across a wooden bridge that hangs precariously over a dangerous cliff. To add to their troubles, their way is blocked by an evil witch who is cooking soup in a huge pot.
Would you like some broth?
Zhao tries to reason with her, but it inevitably ends in a fight. The witch uses her dark magic and manages to push Zhao down the cliff. The warrior is on the verge of falling down when Jack gets a brilliant idea. He takes out a burning log from underneath the soup pot and chucks it straight at the witch. This causes the evil spirit to lose her power, and she is eventually reduced to ash. In exchange for saving his life, Zhao teaches Jack a few essential techniques of ancient martial arts. He trains the youngster so that he can parry the enemy attack and retaliate immediately. The next day, the duo finally makes it to the outer boundary of Aaron's stronghold. Zhao knows that there are too many guards between the outer boundary and the heart of the stronghold, where the princess is kept. The 2 of them will never be able to fight such an overwhelming number of enemies. Thus, he comes up with a rather ingenious idea. Zhao and Jack casually walk into the stronghold, allowing themselves to be captured. Soon afterwards, Aaron welcomes them, explaining how he plans to marry the princess and become become the Emperor of ancient China. He also gleefully announces that the 2 intruders will be executed on his wedding day. Then, just as Zhao had hoped, Eren locks them in the inner chamber of the stronghold. This way, Zhao and Jack made it into the heart of their enemy's territory without having to fight. That night, when a guard comes to give the prisoners their food, Zhao chokes him out. He then sets himself, as well as Jack, free, and the 2 quickly locate Princess Su Lin. This is when their plan finally falls short. Our heroes have safely reached the princess, but now they have no idea how to get out. Things only get worse when the guards discover that the 2 intruders are missing from their chambers. Soon, a host of 30 barbarians is making their way to where the princess is being held, but just when all hope seems to be lost, Zhao comes up with yet another masterstroke. He starts making a circle by opening some holes on the floor using a sword he had stolen earlier. Right when the entire host of barbarians finally reaches the chamber, the floor breaks down from all the weight. All 30 of them drop several stories below and are incapacitated. Our trio of Jack, Zhao, and Su Lin then run outside and quickly grab some horses. Unfortunately, their luck runs out and they are shortly stopped by Eren the Cruel himself. He chucks them back in their cells and prepares to marry Su Lin the very next day. Now the task to save her becomes even more difficult, as there's no way out of this hellhole called the Unknown Lands. But just then, Zhao sees a magnificent butterfly landing near the window of their prison cell. He whispers something to it, and it soon flies away. Shortly after, this total Lord of the Rings ripoff has occurred. A weird green smoke enters into the princess's cell and gets absorbed into her body. The following morning, Zhao and Jack are forced to watch on as the King of Barbarians begins the marriage ceremony with Princess Su Lin. But, strangely, the priest officiating the marriage looks awfully similar to the wizard. The event quickly moves forward and the priest asks the bride and groom to kiss. Eren then lifts up her veil, only to get the shock of his life. The princess's face has changed into that of a reptilian monster. This is when the priest throws away his garb and reveals himself to be the wizard. Suddenly, the whole place descends into chaos. The wizard quickly frees Zhao as well as Jack and fixes the princess's face. The 4 of them start to fight the horde of barbarian soldiers led by Eren, the wizard's magic, Zhao's superb combat skills, and Jack's newfound fighting ability is all out on full display, but they are extremely outnumbered and eventually have to look for ways to run away from the battlefield. Jack and the princess get into a nearby giant catapult and launch themselves far away from the barbarian stronghold. On the other hand, the wizard uses his powers and teleports away with Zhao. The scene then shifts to a few hours later, as Jack wakes up on the floor of a dense forest. He and the princess had launched themselves several miles away from the barbarian stronghold. Unfortunately, Eren quickly caught up and has held the princess in chains. A disoriented Jack tries his best to fight against the brute Eren. Initially, he is beaten and kicked all over the forest floor, but as the battle drags on, the brute starts losing steam, and Jack eventually plants the sharp pieces of wood deep in his neck. This finally kills Eren, ending his reign of terror once and for all. In the aftermath of this battle, Su Lin is crowned Empress of ancient China, and Jack returns back home through a newly constructed gateway. When he goes to school the next day, Jack finally defeats his bully thanks to the training from Zhao. He then puts his journey in ancient China into a video game and sells it for an initial fee of $25,000. What? What? This is more than enough money to help him and his mom from getting evicted.